It is Collider Live, and we saw the new sequel to the 19...
Do you want to put Riley on this mic?
Yeah, you probably should. But we should. If we were going to do that, probably should have done it during the break.
It's fine. I got a mic.
It is a direct sequel to the 1978 John Carpenter horror classic.
Really? So this is canon, like nothing's happened in between
Yeah,
this?
they got rid of all of it. We'll go over that in a second. Riley and I were talking about during the break. This is actually... I'm really loving the Collider Live hardcore fan base now.
Okay.
I love them. Like we have like avid watchers or listeners, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts or on Podcast One, if you don't have Apple or an iPhone. And what we notice in the chat room, which has been great. I don't know if you noticed this because you're not in the chat room. How would you notice it? So
she's busy over there chopping her hands up with a Batman opener that doesn't work.
It's hers. So stop doing that.
I can't.
All right, fine.
Let me get you one of those cube things. Those fiddle cubes.
Alex,
now.
can you find her something she could like one of those? Find something in my office, like a little plushie.
Go to
She's gonna slice her hands up over here.
But it's already
We should throw that thing away anyway, because that opener does not open anything.
You know who gave me that too?
Batman.
Kevin gave me that.
No way.
Yeah. Batman. Yeah.
That's awesome.
So
Everybody at home probably thinks you mean Conroy.
I mean Undergirl.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
Yeah.
Kevin Conroy would be pretty cool
yeah,
too.
True. So anyway, we're going to talk about that in a second. But the audience, what we notice is that for people who have never watched the show before, they see Halloween review and they tune in and then they go, "What?
Who's that German guy?
What are you doing? This isn't the review." And the best part.
Why is this guy talking in a German accent?
But the best part is the fans who watch the show now. Now it's becoming like a thing.
Yeah.
Like they light people up.
That's
now.
the show.
They light people up. I love it. It is so fun to watch. Like whenever you see someone coming in.
How are you watching it?
Riley told me about it. And,
I'm
you can go back. You can go
things.
back and watch it after the replay.
Yeah, I mean, this guy,
they
this
light
is great.
them up. It's amazing.
Title Halloween review, and all I've heard is this shit.
And then they light them up right after.
And then they did.
Oh, I love
hashtag,
it.
that's the show.
Oh, I love
Shut
it.
up, that's the show. Like, and this guy's probably, oh shit.
Yeah, they just light them up. So that's
also
that's what you should do is when you
welcome,
see
new
that.
fan.
Yeah, when you see that though. No. New fans coming in going, oh, okay, they're probably just getting to it. That's one thing. But if you go like, what are you doing? Talking about Halloween for 2 hours?
I could.
That's your fucking
It's
heads.
so funny. They like get so angry in the chat, and they try to take over the conversation. We're going to change the mind from this guy.
I welcome it now. I love it because I love what the fans. I love the hashtag. That's the show and hashtag light them up. That's the thing. No, if you see,
hashtag light them up?
No, I'm saying that's where we should start now. If you see someone coming in and doing that, hashtag light them up, and then after light them up, then go right into. It's so good. What happened? Right?
Some guy goes, "Cause all caps. That's the fucking show."
It's really good.
Why is this man talking in a German
Are
accent?
so brave. They're
So
all
brave.
so
They are. All right, let's be brave. You were brave. You were not.
No.
You shouldn't see the movie
Well, I
last
didn't
night.
get invited,
Yeah,
but I
which
wouldn't
is
have gone.
That's my bad.
Yeah.
That is absolutely my bad. I walked into that theater last night. I said, why did we not bring Makuga to this movie? I do not know. It was stupid, and I apologize to the fans. Not to you, because you're happy when I asked you.
I feel great. Slept like a baby last night.
All right, I
actually had a nightmare.
I have a much different reaction to this movie today than I did last night.
Good.
In a better or
In a better way, yeah, because I'm definitely not the hardcore Halloween fan, right? This is a well-made movie. I can see, and I talked to a bunch of hardcore Halloween fans last night. Copster, Cody, and Riley being 3 of those.
They all went with you?
They were all there last night.
Perry, who saw it for her 3rd time.
Yes, and Perry saw it for her 3rd time. Perry as well is absolutely someone who I talked to.
Huge Halloween thing.
Yeah, and then I talked to a few others, and when speaking to
It takes
both,
a lot for me to like you people.
What's that?
Which
Thank you,
people?
Josh.
Us
The
people?
people that are putting that stuff in my ear holes.
Oh.
But both sides,
But easy to like me, right?
Yeah.
but both sides of you could see from the hardcore fan base, right? You can see 2 different arguments.
Yeah.
And there's an argument that where there are the hardcore fans who loved this movie, and I think that both Copster and Perry put this really well. This movie is like kind of a mixture of the 1978 Halloween mixed with what a 2018 horror movie is today.
So did Copster and Perry both love it? Is that they were on the side
we'll let
of...
Copster talk about it in a second too, but like he has a full take on it. Like,
Is it better than Scream? That's the only movie like that I've seen.
I didn't like it.
No,
more than
Scream's way better.
Yeah,
Sorry,
Scream's
sorry,
way
just
better.
jumping in there.
Yeah.
But this movie, there's one particular scene that I'm not going to spoil this movie had me for a very long time. There's one scene in the movie that lost me immediately, and I said, "Oh, I hope I don't start to hate this movie now because that was really stupid." And there's some stuff in this that the plot is a bit silly and seems like it's almost a little cliched. But I started to think about it, and I was like, "All right." Because I was talking to a lot of critics last night about it too, that were fans and had a good comparison of the original movie. But it's just kind of fans of watching scary movies on Halloween. Is this the movie that will do it? And the answer is 100% yes.
Okay.
This is a movie that will do very well. I tend to agree with a lot of people, whether you liked it or didn't like it, that acknowledge that this movie will land with fans. It's absolutely going to land with fans. I disagree with people who say that fans are not going to respond to this. They're not going to critique it the way... I talked to Drew McWeeny last night for a while, who had a very intelligent take, as you would imagine.
Shocker.
The opposite of a twat take.
No, he had a very he broke it down, and he's a huge fan of the original. He did not like this one. He went into his reasons why, and I heard them, and I agreed with a lot of his reasoning. But I disagree with him that he thinks that fans are going to kind of really rip or analyze it the way that he did, and I don't believe that they will. I think they're going to go into this movie. They're going to have some fun. And Riley, your take, you loved this movie.
I love this movie. My favorite horror movie of all time is Halloween.
Yeah.
So to see this, they go into some stuff that really enhances what Carpenter was going for in the first one, of the shape. I'll just say that. And then it's brutal, and it's fun, and it's all the things that you were talking about. This idea that Halloween is here. It's a perfect release window. It was like last year when I saw It. Not comparing the two, but just going and having a good time in the theater.
What's
I am going
scarier?
Opening night. It's scarier.
What's scarier, It or
I don't know.
Halloween?
I thought it was...
I
think-
thought Halloween was much scarier
Really?
than it.
I
thought it was
got
creepy.
to tell you something. I was on the edge of my seat for this movie the
Yeah.
entire time. And the part that I think you're referencing, I was all for it.
Yeah, this thing was too dopey.
There's some weird in this that I just love.
Yeah.
I just love it.
What does it rank in the Halloween pantheon?
Well, it's the second best movie.
Oh, stop that.
What do you got, Cops?
It
Cops,
is-
Stop
let's
that,
hear
Riley.
Cops.
Absolutely.
First of all,
let's hear Cops.
Absolutely.
I think it's way too soon to say something like that. I think we have to let this movie sit for a little bit.
I've seen them
Let him
enough.
finish. Let him finish.
Yeah.
Okay, but I enjoyed it. I think it's solid. It goes places that you kind of don't expect, but at the same time, I don't necessarily agree that it's like what the original one was. Like you said, it is like a hyperbolic
who said
version.
that?
What?
Who said it was like the original one was?
Oh, look, whatever everyone's saying, like it's homaging the first one or whatever.
You don't think there's any similarities to the first one?
No, I definitely think there is, but
Right.
what it does, what the original movie does is that it takes its time and it's a slow burn. And a lot of people
Right.
who watch it for the first time now may think it's boring. This movie they might be the same runtime, but this movie runs at a much quicker
Oh, yeah,
pace.
definitely.
This goes right into it and doesn't give any time to breathe. Not a nitpick or anything, but that's just kind of how the movie is. And the movie is brutal. It is violent. I don't think it needed to be that violent. Because I think the simplicity of the shape is not seeing a lot of the stuff
Yeah.
that he does, and I think that's fine. But the fact that they do that, it's eye candy. It's nice to see that sort of stuff.
Well, that's the point. That's the point that I got from a lot of other Halloween fans was that in the original movie you didn't need to see because there were some kills in this that were more reminiscent of what Jason did than what
Yeah.
Michael Myers
Yes.
did, right?
Absolutely.
Now the other thing though too is that we were kind of saying the same thing. That there's the 1978 version. There's certainly the homage to certain moments of it. Like even the tracking shot that you've
Yeah.
seen is an homage to it, but. You couldn't do that slow burn now. And with that kind of budget,
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I definitely think you can do that slow burn. We've seen like Hereditary is a perfect example of a slow burn. Like
and
The
how much
Witch.
money? How much money did it make?
Oh, well,
I'm not telling
care.
you.
I don't care about money, but
We're talking about two different things.
Okay,
We're talking,
all right,
I'm
I'll
talking about,
stop.
I'm talking about as far as studio goes. As far you got to look at Halloween is an IP that they want to make money on. I'm not telling you you can't make that kind of movie. Of course you can. I mean, you can make it good. The Witch is a perfect example. It also didn't make any money whatsoever. You're looking at as far as what a studio goes. I know you don't care about money, but studios do.
But-
that's why they make these movies. So they're going to make Halloween, and they can't make Halloween. Would you agree that with a studio budget film,
The Nun is
you
making a lot of
cannot
money.
make a movie like the 1978 version and keep people's attention?
I think you can because the movie it was only $10 million, which is still pretty small, and it's got Halloween.
That was the budget of Halloween?
Yeah. It was
Yeah,
only
back in
$10
the
million.
day.
And it's
Wow.
got the title of Halloween. Jamie Lee Curtis is back. I totally think you could have done a slower burn.
I don't know.
think we
I
needed
don't
to.
think you could have spent
You know,
that. Yeah, 'cause they spent a lot of money on this
I think
movie.
by
They could have done
design,
that with this one. Yeah.
you cannot do the slow burn
Yeah.
after Halloween because of the ramifications which they address. Is that you're gonna have to like, we all know Michael escapes, right?
Right.
That's the whole fucking point of the movie. You're going to then go, everything's gonna happen and go right to the source, try to stop it, right? That's
Right.
the movie. So to do
Can you shut
what
your mics off back there, guys?
do what they did in Halloween, where he's escaped, but it's you don't know where you kind of one person knows, Loomis. He's going after him, so it takes its time. This you can't.
Who plays Loomis?
There's no Loomis.
There's no Loomis.
has passed. There's a different
Well, somebody
version.
does.
Yeah, well, not Loomis. He doesn't play
Yeah,
Loomis.
yeah,
He plays, but there is a doctor.
There's a doctor, yeah.
Yeah.
Your
Keep
phone's
going.
ringing.
Yeah. Is it
It's
mine?
not mine. I know that it's not mine.
My
I
wife
haven't
has-
even
my
checked
wife
mine.
has
You
no
just checked
idea.
your phone. You
Yeah.
just checked your phone.
Yeah.
I'm bleeding from my hands, and you checked
my
your
wife
phone.
My wife calls me. I tell her every time. Where are you?
Yeah.
Every day on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I tell her I'm doing the show on live, and she forgets every day.
I'm
sorry.
glad
Go
this
ahead.
happens
Finish.
to me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just was saying, I think that because of
But
there's a
she's
little bit
awesome.
of,
But she's an amazing wife.
Yes.
Say nice things.
there's a point to what you're saying though about today's horror movie audience and like needing to have that kind of thing. Not needing, but I think it finds that balance very, very well. And I've heard a lot of the feedback, like the gruesome kills. Like it didn't bother me,
Yeah.
like it did some people.
Yeah, because
I almost wanted-
you're a cruel human being.
I wanted them to go further with
you know
that.
what, Josh? I'm going to take you to watch this.
I couldn't tell if that was a stop talking or a
No,
ready to go.
I was waiting for you. To,
Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I thought that it definitely was not too gruesome. I think there was a very specific moment in the movie where it was not gruesome enough. I don't know if you guys know what I'm
You
talking
also
about,
wanted to eat humans like 2 weeks ago, so.
but
And you like emotional support
2
squirrels.
weeks ago. It's right now. I'm still willing and
Right.
able to eat a human.
Okay.
I think that this movie I really loved it. I thought it was awesome, but I understand some of the critiques. For me, the biggest issues were that there were some characters that the whole character did
Right.
not matter. Like in the entire.
Oh, I agree.
entire
it's
character
about
didn't
Laurie
matter.
Strode and it's about Michael Myers. That's what the movie is
And
about.
we
They don't
spent-
invest anybody.
We spent time on some people that were like. That I was expecting payoff for,
And nothing happens.
and
Oh,
then-
that's true. There's one
and
particular
then
character you never even
where
see.
you're like,
oh, right. What the hell happens there?
Huh.
That's right. I know exactly what you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Because, but the other, I mean, again,
But I
want to
brushed
go
it
back.
under the
I do
rug
want to go
'cause I
back
liked
to the
it.
point to where if you did make a movie, let's say you made this movie for $10 million now or 15, could you do it? Sure. There's no way Universal takes that movie.
Yeah.
Universal's not going to put that movie out. And then you got to go through a much smaller distribution.
What they're not going to make, if Universal's not going to put out because it
Not
only
like a
costs
$9 or
$10
$10 million.
Yeah.
You know, they're like if you look at like when Fox or Fox puts out a movie like that, it goes through Fox Searchlight and it gets smaller distribution and then there's not enough money put into it. But a movie like this, it's probably what costs like $50 million, $60 million to do this movie. And it's probably gonna. I think you're right, Riley. I think this thing's gonna make anywhere between $80 to $100 million opening week.
Halloween was a $10 million budget.
I know.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I thought you were
mean
saying that it
this
wasn't.
one.
The what it's going to do opening weekend?
Yeah, this one.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I keep going back to it. That was something that the marketing was really great. You know, people were excited. It was, we were starting. That was September of last year, so starting the Halloween season. This is like smack dab in the middle. People know they can look up and
Yeah.
go, wait, Jamie Lee Curtis is in this. I recognize that mask.
And you know what else? There was
It's
a
Blumhouse.
buzz in the theater last night before the movie
Yes.
started. There was
Oh, yeah.
there was a buzz, and you can.
95 million?
I would not be surprised anywhere between 80 to 100 this movie for sure.
I
I'm
think
wondering
100.
how close it's going to get to 100.
I think we're gonna touch it because
Yeah.
not only like we talked about October smack dab, but I feel like the voices that are loudest right now are the voices who are adoring this film.
Yeah.
What I heard going into this was this is a must-see movie. Coming out of it, there was mixed reactions. I was shocked with that because while I was watching it, I was just like, yeah, this is exactly what I was sold.
It also has an unfair hurdle because the 1978 version is a classic horror film that really paved the way for slasher films in general. You're never going to, it's like every Star Wars movie starts to get compared to Empire Strikes Back. You're never going to top that, but because of the way that it felt, or the original Star Wars itself, right? You're never going to. Halloween is that big as far as the horror genre goes. It is
Yes.
that big. With the stuff everybody was talking. You can have. I'm Nightmare on Elm Street more than I am Halloween, but Halloween started it all. It really did. And you look at
Who's Nightmare on Elm Street again? Which one is that one?
Freddy.
That's Freddy.
So Nightmare on Elm Street. Excuse me. Fucking Halloween. Halloween to me.
I always keep thinking that. Okay, I got it. Never mind.
Yeah, but the unfair thing with Halloween, this second movie, is that people are going to, because it's got that feel of this is the direct sequel to it, that people are going to compare it right away, and that every critic I talked to last night is comparing it to the first one, and you can't do that. I think that you have to, and that's why I started to come around from it. You got to look at it the way that when I was talking to Perry, that this mixture of what a 2018 slasher film would be, and combine it with the homage, and that's what you get with this film, and I think it works, and I think it's going to crush.
One, I can't believe they really did this. They made Michael scary again.
Yes,
Absolutely
so
scary.
it's
again.
terrifying.
And
I wouldn't walk to my car alone last night.
the other thing that I really love about this movie is that this film is so sure of itself. It knows exactly what it wants to do. They had a
Except for that
vision.
one
Can I look at?
No, even that, it got me too. But then I was like, oh my God, I'm so all in on this.
I can't wait to talk spoilers with the audience.
I know,
Because
there's
I
so
want to
many
see where they lie
spoilers.
on
That
that.
got me too.
Yeah, because there's some people.
It's
I
weird.
talk to
I
that
love
like
it.
Cops said that without ruining the moment. Were you on board with that moment? Yes or no?
At first, no, but I
Okay.
grew onto it.
Okay, Cody.
Yeah, once I started to think about it more, it makes sense with the themes of the movie. So
Okay.
I
Yes.
started to warm up. to
And
it a
Cody,
little
what'd
bit
you
more.
think overall? I haven't really heard from you. So you're a big Halloween fan. Would you dug it a lot, right?
Yeah, we were talking about it last night. Cops just said it perfectly. It's a solid movie. Like it's not terrifying. It's not bad. It's just solid.
Yeah.
It's a good movie that you've been waiting a long time for, and it doesn't let down.
Cody, is it gonna scare me?
I agree with that
Yes, it
assessment
will.
100%.
Wow, I thought it was terrifying, and I thought it was really good.
Well, you gotta
Yeah.
remember, these guys are like hardcore horror fans, so
Yeah.
you gotta really scare the shit out of them. And like, it's like, I agree with that assessment. I think to me, it's a really good movie. It's a good movie. I remember seeing that first one and being terrified. Just terrible because it was so simplistic the way that it was shot. But that's why I just don't think you can do that
I watched
today
it again.
in a big setting budget this way. It's very hard to do.
And Jamie Lee Curtis, is she like a detective that traces him down?
no, it's just her brother. It's her brother.
No,
yeah.
that's not her brother.
No, it's not a brother.
Wait, Michael Myers is not her brother?
No. So
They-
okay,
Oh.
so
Gone.
they retcon that too. Because
Yeah.
so
Wait, what?
the
Yes.
original
Well,
Halloween.
think about the storyline that they did in this movie about.
They got rid of 2 on.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Two
He was never. They were never related in the original film. That was only established in the sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a common misconception. A lot of people.
That's
And
why
then-
they had that particular
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
Rob Zombie
exactly.
remade that and did the same story.
poopier.
All right, so I was really confused. So,
Yeah, so they got rid of that.
But-
yeah.
okay.
So who is she now?
So
She's
she's
just someone
somebody
that
who
was
has
terrified.
been affected. She's somebody who's been
neighbor,
affected.
right?
But they introduced something in this kind of mythology, if you will, for a Halloween movie about the shape and what Carpenter did. He's a force of nature. He's the boogeyman. So they introduce an interesting thing that I love. That's why it's so sure of itself. They're like, this is what we're gonna say, and we're going all in. And
Yeah.
some people are gonna be rubbed the wrong way on
Right.
that, and I loved it.
Okay.
Jamie Lee Curtis is such a
She's great.
badass.
Well, that's the thing. So here's
action star.
the thing that you have to know about this movie is that it legit takes the Terminator 2 story. I mean,
Oh, hell yeah.
it's the Terminator 2 story.
And that's great too.
Yeah, and it works.
I really like what you guys are saying about the characters because I know that a lot of the characters may not have had a payoff or anything, but I felt that they were specifically set up just so they can get killed. Like as soon as some
Yeah.
characters got introduced, it's like he's dead,
Yep.
she's
So-
dead, and
some
I
of
love
them,
that.
But some of them did
Didn't
not
even-
happen.
you
I
didn't
know
even
who-
see some of them.
And I know,
I know
I
you're
think we
talking
all
about.
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I love that. That's a classic horror trope in the slasher genre.
Of not paying it off. I mean,
No.
everyone did it.
No.
Oh, okay.
The
setting up
introducing
and
certain
crapping out.
characters where you're like,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's where the fun element comes into it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the whole point to where you're looking for this immaculate horror film that just does everything right. And it's like it's also looking, because it is a big studio film, it's looking to have those kind of fun horror moments that Cops just pointed out of who's this random weirdo? Doesn't matter, he's dead in 10 minutes. Like that's kind of the point of this, and that's why I started to think about it. You can't analyze it all the way through to try to make it this perfect movie, because it's not a perfect movie, but it is a fun movie.
And the score is fucking
great.
awesome.
It's great.
Oh,
Score
fuck.
is so
The score is great.
good.
Yeah,
It's
well, the way
brilliant.
that it adds new themes with the old Carpenter theme is great. And doesn't Carpenter do the whole?
He does the
whole
score with his son and another guy.
It was fantastic, and I thought there were some menacing moments. And the thing is,
What did
and
you
this
guys
is-
think about the new girl, Andy?
Who was this?
Oh,
young,
she was
young
great.
girl?
Who
Yeah.
played
The
Allison?
daughter.
Yeah,
She's
and then
fantastic.
Roca's favorite
She's the worst?
Pam Grier.
Judy Greer.
Judy Greer.
Greer.
Who's Pam Grier?
Pam Grier.
is
Is
Jackie
a
Brown.
woman.
Jackie Brown.
Yeah, Jackie
Judy
Brown.
Greer
Brown.
is so good in everything she does, and
Yeah.
she's so
Judy
underrated.
Greer, yeah.
I don't know why she's not
She
more
won
like
Riley the title.
mainstream.
She is the greatest character actress
Yes.
great.
of her generation.
Great.
Yes.
Underrated in the Apes movies too, by the way.
Yeah.
She's so
Fantastic.
good.
But the movie is it's a solid film, and I think that I cannot wait for the fans to watch this because this is a movie I 100% want to do a spoiler chat about.